uncommon for people to respond. Although we have made an attempt to build the capacity of many of the members of the people within the county to be able to deal with these tenders, we still have a challenge because a significant number of youth, women, and PWDs are not able to access capital, although during our first time, we made arrangements with financial institutions to support this cadre of people based on the LPOs. And indeed, at that time, a large majority of them were able to start this business. The other one is high-value tenders, and all flagship projects being implemented by the county government are usually classified under open tender due to the high capital demand and the complex technical requirements, thus locking out most of the ACPO groups. But as we speak now, Mr. Chairman, I have instructed the Department of Devolution and the Department of Finance to capacity build and to hold training sessions in collaboration with the Public Procurement Oversight Authority to train our young people and women and PWDs on how to fill tender documents. Most of the time, they are not able to fill the tender documents in a manner that they can be able to succeed in getting the tenders. So that program is ongoing, and I'm sure the county secretary might want to speak to that.
Chair, we've started a series of training because what we've learned is that our young people have no capacity to compete with the others. So we are training them on how to fill the documents. We've also engaged PPRA so that we can build their capacity, so that moving forward, we shall be having more young people actually participating in the procurement process.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's go to number 6.
Page 18.
Question 6 on page 18.
Yes. Affirmative action measures being implemented by the county in the promotion of women, youth, and persons living with disabilities in recruitment and leadership. The county government is in an endeavor to ensure that the above measures are achieved, encourages youth, women, and persons living with disabilities to apply for positions advertised in both newspapers and its website in all its advertisements. The gender representations, affirmative action on recruitment. Financial year 2021-2022, we recruited 16 males and 14 females, and the percentages of male that were recruited were 53 and female were 47. Financial year 2022-2023, we did not do any recruitment. 2023-2024, we have recruited 147 males, 81 females, 64% and 36. The county also ensures that during recruitment process, minorities, persons with disabilities, and women are favored during selection by making sure that any position being filled adheres to the regulations on a third rule on each gender. Persons with disabilities being given their slots as per the law, at least 5% whenever they apply. Youth being given the largest share, especially at entry-level jobs due to requirements that do not mandate experience to qualify. Of course, while we are doing that, we make sure that we do not also recruit people who are not qualified, because if you recruit people in the professional cadres and they are not qualified, then you will not be able to achieve the objective. The county has also put in place a process that ensures that during recruitment, every sub-county, ward, and even location get equal opportunities at every stage of the whole process of recruitment, thus ensuring that the areas that are marginalized get equal chance with other areas in competitive positions. Chairman, we do that, and sometimes, of course, you start getting complaints from people saying that I was best in the interview, but I was not taken. But since you are considering the ward and the ethnic community and the sub-county, sometimes people do not appreciate that it is good sometimes to take a person who has not performed as well, but has reached the threshold that is required, is considered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Governor. Let me ask Senator Kamau, or you want to ask something first? Okay, let him ask first.
Chairman, just for your information,
Yes.
we have attached an appendix of all the employees of the county government in Appendix 1A.
Yes, I understand, but you see, appendixes are not indicated very well and until you tell us the page so that we can access that one. But that's fine. What we are going to do is we are going to ask you questions.
Thank you.
Out of those questions, you can refer us to those pages.
Thank you.
Senator
Thank you, Chair.
Baringo County.
I wanted to have the first, because I'm going to chair the other committee, that is my committee. I want to refer the governor, through you, Chair, to page 4. And even before I say this, I think the presentation was fairly good. That is not to say that I'm giving 100% for the governor, but I think this man, the chair, is my neighbor. Actually, I sit next to him, and he sits next to me. You know, so we keep on discussing issues about Baringo and other counties. I think today, this report is not, I think it is fairly good. Now, the total number of employees in our county, Governor, as you rightly said here, the total number is 3,764. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, is this inclusive of the members of staff of the county assembly?
No, Mr. Chairman. It doesn't include. Normally, the county assembly will present their own.
Their own?
Yeah.
Okay. That
Does
is-
it include casuals also? Casual workers? No.
No.
Thank you. Proceed, Senator.
And then I don't know, Chair, whether it should be including this, the
Honorable Senator, we are doing that one separately. We are asking even they have their own recruitment process, they have their own board, so we are summoning, we are asking the board to come.
it is
So-
answered. Then I want to take the governor, through you, Chair, to page 8. In the CC distribution by ethnicity, Tukens took 70%, Pokot 20, El Jamus 10. There is this tribe called Kikuyu in Baringo. Though I see there is space for them in the
Chief officers.
chief officer, but wouldn't have really been fair to consider that tribe in the CC? That is my third question. The last one, not the last one. I want to refer you to page 16. No, page 15. The distribution of the employees in the employment of staff 2023-2024. The 228, the total number. But if you go to health, you have 37. I think it is the leading in the entire distribution. Because, Governor, because of the challenge we have in our county, especially on the health sector, there's so many dispensaries, health centers, and so on. It would have been fair to have increased that number Of course, I know every department really have their own needs, but I think in future, you really focus on the elder sector because we have a lot of challenges there. That is page 16. I'm almost concluding my questions. Page 16. You spoke about in 2023-2024, the Baringo County government procured goods and services totaling 2 billion and some 12 million, with affirmative action groups getting 422 million 29,074. Do you have any confirmation in this document as to the affirmative groups which received these services? I'm saying that, Governor, because as we interact, and I know all the members from the county really, we are on top of issues. We know what is happening. And there's been this, complaint that the youth, and I think you captured it in your presentation, Kidogo, the youth as, are not being considered. So I just wanted, because now you talk of accurate, a fixed figure of 422 million, if you can be able to share with us the various affirmative action groups which receive the money. And finally, ya ukweli, because I think I've spoken about finally many times. I'm going to page 18, Governor. Gender representation, affirmative action on recruitment. I have no issue with this. But isn't it true that the variance between the male and the female, 64% against 36%? Is it that there were no female who applied? I'm just trying to understand why the variance, to me, is big between the male and the female.
Yes.
That is all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Let me start with the last question. Maybe the Senator was not in earlier.
Excuse me, Governor, 1 minute. Do we have Senator online? Yes?
I will be joining you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also here, Senator Betty Siemo from Kitui County, a member of the committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Siemo. Proceed.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair, and I want to thank our Senator. We are very happy that you are here with us today. We know that you have been a bit indisposed, and we appreciate to see you able to perform your duties and to represent us well. Thank you very much. And we continue wishing you to good health. Number two, I want to answer the issue of the variance between female and male gender.
That one is on which page?
Page
16. Proceed.
Page 18.
18.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I know that the chairman came a little late. The general distribution of the female and male staff in the county is skewed towards the female. On page 1, is it page 1 of our presentation, we have indicated that 61.7% of our staff are female. Page 1, page 2 is a graphical representation, yes. 61.7% of our staff are female, and 38.3% of our staff are male. And that is contributed largely, yes. And again, I also indicated that during the recent past, we have been employing professional staff, mostly in agricultural extension and health, and also surveying and public works. So most of the applicants tend to be male in these professions. Number two, on the procurement of affirmative action, yes, we have a document that we can leave behind here to the senators, showing the distribution of the jobs that have been given to the youth, people living with disabilities, and women. So there will be a document that can be seen. I hear you, the concern for health staff. I had indicated during my earlier presentation that during my first time in 2013, 2017, we built a large number of dispensaries, and that we have not been able to operationalize most of them because of a limited number of health staff. We are struggling between obeying the law which says that we should not increase our wage bill to beyond 35%, and meeting the needs of our department. As we speak now, we have advertised for some staff for the Department of Health. We do hope that we shall recruit and replace the ones that have exited. Ours is an aging population. Most of our people in health are retiring, and so we are deliberately recruiting younger ones to replace them. And hopefully, we shall be able to operationalize most of our facilities with that kind of staff. The other question that you asked, Mr. Chairman, the Senator asked, is about the lack of a Kikuyu CEC. You know, this is a catch-22 situation. We have a large number of ethnicities in Baringo County. Actually, to be specific, we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I think nearly 24. Is it 24? Can you count for me? Nearly 24 ethnic groups. Virtually the whole of Kenya is represented in Baringo. So if we were to satisfy...
That's not a correct statement. You have 25 out of 45.
25, yes.
You have 25 out of 45.
Yes.
So that is that means
that is more than 60, about 60%.
No, but we're not fully represented. If you employ only 20 more people from different communities, you are at 45 out of 45. So only one.
Yes.
For each county, yes. You are at 45. So,
if we want to get the whole,
reconsider. You have to reconsider that statement.
Reconsider.
Okay.
Yes. So in that, but of course we have only 10 slots for CECs. So even if we wanted to employ as many, we cannot employ more than 10. So only 10 communities can be represented. But generally, we are during our appointment, we try to ensure that every sub-county is represented among the CECs and the chief officers. And that is why we have the Kikuyu community being represented in the chief officers and other communities.
Okay, in the three terms of leadership in Baringo.
Did you finish answering the first question?
Yeah, I think yes.
You finished?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Proceed, Senator.
Now, I know that I'm fighting for Kikuyu CEC. I have no interest. When you came to leadership in 2013 to 2017, did you head a Kikuyu CEC? And when Kiptes came on board in 2017, 2022, did you head a Kikuyu CEC? And when you came on board now, from 2022 to 2023, no, to, of course, this term, did you head a Kikuyu CEC?
I did not have a Kikuyu CEC in 2020 in my first term, and I also did, but I had a Kikuyu chief officer on that first term.
Yeah.
And then this time also I have a Kikuyu chief officer. I'm not sure about I don't want to answer for my successor and predecessor, but I pray that the next governor, maybe...
Cheboi, your county secretary was a member of... the team of captains. Can you answer that question?
Thank you, Chair. I think in that 2017 to 2022, there was no Kikuyu CEC, but there was a Kikuyu chief officer. And
The secretary then also.
Yeah, I think so that doesn't appear like I am fighting for. So all through, the Kikuyus have had a chief officer. Okay, I think, Chair, I've gotten the answer. And that others will be our domestic issues. Yeah.
Fine, thank you very much. Senator Kamau.
Thank you very much, Senator for Baringo. Is a certain report that he has withheld. That's a story for another day. But having said that, I wanted to ask a question.
Let me confirm that he's a member of my committee, so we should believe him now.
That is true. Chair,
He's going to join you very soon.
I want to commend the governor for his good presentation and the way he has actually tried to.
Okay. Oh, can you finish, please? That's why I asked you earlier, and you said he has answered. Which one did he not answer?
I have answered a question on the variance for the females. I have answered on procurement. I have answered on health staff. I've answered on the Kikuyu CCs. And why more females? I think I have answered. Yes.
Thank you, Senator Kamau.
Continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I wanted to say that the governor has done a good presentation. And I also want to commend him because of the way he has distributed some job opportunity to different ethnic communities in his county. Although, as the chair has said, you have not completed because we have 45 ethnic communities in the Third Republic. So there is some job to be done. And I believe those people are still in your county. My concern is on the issue of PWDs. You know the law, what it says, that you're supposed to comply with 5% minimum of the people living with disability in the entire employment scheme of your county. But you have not complied. But you said that it has been a problem since 2013 to date. That is what you said, right? But progressively you said that you will see to it that you comply with the law. My question is, during the year 2023-2024, you did a recruitment. And I want to draw you to your presentation on page 12. You did a recruitment. I wanted to know, out of the 228 people that you recruited, how many people were PWDs? That is number one. Number two, question number one. Question number two.
Kindly note it down, please. Can somebody also help the governor to note that they can miss one maybe?
My question will go direct to the county secretary. Now that you have answered the issue of procurement on women and PWDs, I wanted to ask you whether you are privy to the report that there are some people who pretend to be, actually let me call them cartels, who sometimes register their companies with the AGPO, pretending that they are PWDs or they are women, youths. What are you going to do to safeguard that marginalized community from these people who are looking like cartels and they are actually preparing to take jobs that they are not theirs? Thank you. That is question number two.
Yes. Are you through? Madam, you want to look at the documents first or you want to ask questions?
Chair, I was trying to get to see what the governor, His Excellency the Governor, which programs he has for youth, women, and people living with disabilities. Do you have a kind of a fund to assist the youth and that group? Or which programs have you done in the county? Because this is one of the issues that we are trying to sort out in the nation, that they feel left out you're not giving them jobs and opportunities.
Thank you very much. You okay, Senator?
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to raise an issue which is directly and indirectly touching on what we're discussing. You recall I moved a motion in Senate to mainstream the minorities and the marginalized groups, and it was passed. And one of the prayers I made in that motion was that the national government, in consultation with the county governments, develop policies and legal framework that will comply with Article 56 of the Constitution. And Article 56 says, minorities and marginalized groups, the state shall put in place affirmative action programs designed to ensure that minorities and marginalized groups, A, participate and represented in governments and other sphere of life. B, and allow me here because a very important point, provide special opportunities in educational and so on. And then provide special opportunities for access to employment. And you go down all the way to support an E. Chair, and this is important because this is your area. If you see what has happened currently, up to today, from 2010, the groups of the youth, we have been able to mainstream as a government, not as county government. I just want to talk about the government because we have now the youth fund and we have programs for the youth. That is Article 55 for the youth. Persons with disabilities, again, we have done very well because we have, the fund for disabilities. We even have nomination to county governments or national government. So why I raise that particular, and children and women. You have the women fund to support the women. We have the youth fund to support the youth. We have something to support the people with disabilities. So why I wanted to raise this issue, I believe that motion passed by Senate and copies of that resolution passed on to the Council of the Governors. And I think Wasingish already, as we speak, are already discussing that particular motion. So, Chair, I think connecting my point to what Thuku was saying, there is still a problem in our country, and I think we need to do something, not for Baringo only, but for the country, to mainstream minorities, marginalized groups in our government, issues like employment and so on. So, just something for the governor.
Okay. Governor, you can answer questions. Are you through?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. You can.
Before the governor, on the issue, still on the issue of PWDs, let me draw the attention of this committee to to Appendix 1C, whereby you have listed the list of county executives. Page 112. You have listed the number of CC, actually the employees in your county, and chief officers. I wanted to know from the governor, out of these people that you have listed here, the law says that in every establishment of the executive members in the county assembly or in the county government, there must be you must include the marginalized communities. I wanted to know, because I've seen that there are some Pokot and the Ilchamas, those people might be marginalized community, but I wanted to know whether there is PWDs in all these two establishments, that is the CC and the chief officers.
Okay, thank you, Governor. And normally, Governor, this list go through the National Assembly. No, the county assembly.
Yes.
And I don't know how they passed, if they've passed these CCs and CEOs, how did they pass? Because it is a mandatory that you should have someone from this group of disabled persons.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have considered the marginalized communities in terms of the communities within the county, because we have got the El Chamus, we have the Pokot, and we have the Kikuyu, and we have, that one. And also we have taken care of the female gender adequately. I do have persons living with disabilities in my team of governor service delivery unit that we have. So in the executive, at least we have people within my office with that kind of situation. Having said that, it's all, there is no...
Governor, our legal person there, can you check for us that part of the laws while he's answering the other questions? Please.
Chair, can I seek to leave?
Yes. Yes, please.
For the other committee.
Okay, thank you.
Please release for me.
I will.
So,
Before he goes, I just wanted to thank you.
Let him answer your question, and then...
I also want to appreciate...
I think the
Yes,
other chair was not even a question, it was just an issue.
Let him also appreciate
Yes,
you.
I want to appreciate you, my senator, for at least moving that motion. That is very, very conscientious of you, and that I will ask my team to follow up and get that particular bill that was passed, so that we can do the needful to comply with it. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa Senator, karibu sana. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, Governor.
I wanted to answer Senator Kamau's question on the 228 people that we hired in the recent past, to say that we have 2 PWDs among those 228. But again, for us to be able to know whether we had PWDs, whether we have tried to get them, the most important thing would have been to get the applicants, because if we get applicants for the PWD positions, we consider them seriously and favorably. I always ask the Public Service Board to provide me with information showing the number of people who have applied and how many are PWDs and how many were hired. And sometimes you don't find the PWDs who have applied for the particular profession that is required. And again, the spirit should be to be able to comply with the law, and not just to comply with the law, but to be seen to be ensuring that we are also considering people who are disadvantaged in that particular manner.
Governor, you have someone from your public service board here.
Yes, yes.
So can you answer that question? Because they are supposed to answer that question, by the way. Secretary is here. Well, Secretary, I want to ask you, if you are normally communicating with the people, the organization, National Council for People with Disability, they've told us not to say living with disability. They've said people with disability. So if you have any communication with them, either through a letter or verbal, please tell us, because what the governor is talking about, saying that he's waiting for people to apply, that doesn't make sense, because in Kenya we have people, from even Marsabit, I can provide you even 10, even now, people with PhDs, doctorate. So kindly please tell us.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, it's true, the governor and us consult frequently, but as you realize, the functions of the board are well spelled, that under Section 66 of the County Governments Act, we must advertise all positions competitively, and therefore we encourage in all the advertisements, some of which are in this appendix, the appendixes of this report, we encourage all suitably qualified persons, including the youth, women, and people with disability, to apply. So our first test is, of course, to see that for every position advertised, we check through all people who meet the minimum qualifications, and we particularly check out if they are PWDs, and we normally shortlist them. So in this instance, for those...
Do you consult with the National Council?
What we do with the National Council, of course, is whenever we have a person with disability, we normally want to ensure that it's a real person with a disability, so we request for confirmation of the registration of the person with disability and confirm that it's a person that is actually certified as a person living with disability.
Bwana CEO,
yes.
What you are telling this committee is after you've done your advertisement,
yes,
people have applied, you will find one or two persons
correct,
with disability, then you consult the National Council, right?
Correct.
So my question was and is, are you in consultation with them? Because they have got a list of people with disability. Do you normally communicate either through a letter or even verbally that, you know, we want to employ 5 people living with disability? Do you have the list or and also their qualification? Do you do that?
Chairman, we are duty bound by the law to ensure that we have matched the skills with each job that is advertised. If, for example, I give you an example, if we want to hire somebody with living with disability in a particular position, that person ought to have applied for that position. So yes, we do consult with them, but we cannot ask them to be put on a list before they apply. Yes.
Let me ask our legal officer to tell you what the law says, because you're not quoting the law, you're just saying your own things. Kindly, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just in regards to persons living with disability, I'll read Article 54 of the Constitution, and it says, specifically sub-Article 2. So Article 1 lists what a person with any disability is entitled to. Specifically, sub-Article 2 states that the state shall ensure the progressive implementation of the principle that at least 5% of the members of the public in elective and appointive bodies and are persons with disabilities. So this means that even within the county, elective and appointive posts should go, at least 5% should be reserved for persons with disabilities. And what the chair is saying, if I may just add, Chair, with your permission, is you do not have to you just need to consult the council so that they give you the list of the people who are qualified for the positions that you are looking for. And then you take them through the interview process. If they meet the requirements, then you recruit them. But at least you'll have done your bit in complying with sub-Article 2 of Article 54. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. I've heard,
yes,
and I think I like to stress the word progressive in that article, that we endeavor to ensure that in every advertisement, whenever a person with disability applies, we give them affirmative action. So, Chairman, if you are asking me whether we can put a person with disability on a list without meeting the qualifications, that is probably something we need to research.
It isn't, by the way. That part says, if I am a disabled person and I have less qualifications what you required, you can still pick me under that law.
We agree completely, Chairman, that we shall give them affirmative action to give them advantage so long as they meet the minimum qualifications.
That is where you're wrong.
Mr. Chairman,
My friend,
allow me to,
that is where you're wrong.
Allow me to intervene.
What she's saying, okay, yeah,
yes. Now, as governor, I take note of that section of the law that says you can deliberately seek to appoint someone in that category, even if they have not applied. And if you can be able to consult the National Council and they provide you with a person who may fit into that qualification or even lower so that you can be able to comply. Yeah, we shall endeavor to go in that direction.
So let's talk about progressive. Tell us what you've so far done that in the next 2-3 years you've planned how to pick or employ somebody with disability. What programs do you have?
Chairman, we have
progressively. So show us if there is any program you have that in the next 2-3 years you have a program that says this year this much, the next year this much. Do you have that program?
Chairman, I do not have a program attached to this report, but as a board, yes, we do have programs to do progressive inclusion of persons living with disability.
We'll give you 1 week if you can send that program to us, please, Panasio.
Yes.
That's okay?
Chairman, maybe I could add on it, maybe this one to the county secretary. Are you aware how many people you have in your county who are PWDs?
Yes, we have in the report that is attached to this
county. That is,
we would only be responsible
on population census.
So I say it goes to the county secretary, not to the chairman of the board.
Yes. Basically, what she is asking is, you have the census. I think 1999 census, if I'm not wrong, 2019. So what she's asking is, what is the population of people with disability in your county? If you have, fine. If you don't have, we'll get it.
Not right here.
Thank you,
Chairman.
So thank you very much. Your Excellency Governor, kindly proceed.
There is a question that was asked by Senator Kamau on cartels or people pretending to be PWDs. What are we doing to be able to address? Do we have a procurement officer here?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, please.
I want to say we are private. There are people who purport to be youth or to be the disadvantaged group, but what we normally do, we do due diligence. Whenever we are procuring, we ensure that the documentation and those who come and commit themselves to the contracts are actually the bona fide members of that group. So we do due diligence, and when we find that one of the companies is a pseudo or is actually a cartel, we stop from there. So that is what we, and also through the training, the capacity building we do to our young people or to the disadvantaged groups, we actually impress upon them to be honest and also not to be misused. So that is what we normally do.
Okay, thank you very much. Governor?
Just want to add on that, we have a deliberate process of capacity building of the youth, women, and people with disabilities on the area of procurement so that they can be able to have capacity to not only participate, but to be able to fill those forms well. In some situations, a tender is knocked off simply because of pagination. And if they don't understand that you have got to follow certain criteria, then they will be disadvantaged. But again, now we have taken cognizance of this other law that was read to us. Is that applicable also in tenders?
That's a question that would be answered by our legal officer. But I think, Honorable Governor, what you've just said is very important. But you've said repeatedly that you are going to help the youth,
yes,
on how to fill the tenders and how to participate. So my question would be, you've been there for 5 years, plus 2.5 years, 7.5 years, you are left with only 2.5 years. If you have not done those things in the last 7.5 years, Bwana Governor, honestly, are you going to achieve this in the next 2.5 years? Or have you just woken up now because of Gen Zs that you want to do those things, Bwana Governor?
No, Mr. Chairman. I said earlier on that during my first term, I engaged financial institutions within the county government to provide facilitation or loans on account of award of tender. It's called LPO financing. And they did it. And during that time, because we had very good cash flow systems, we were able to get the financial institutions to support the young people to become, to procure or to participate in that business. Unfortunately, for now, due to cash flows problems, it is a bit difficult for most of the financial institutions to give tender-based loans to business people, including young people. However, we have funds in our cooperative, in our Ministry of Cooperatives that facilitate young people to be given loans to be able to do these kind of tenders now. And
it is called, can somebody give us the name?
Micro Enterprise
SME Fund.
SME Fund.
SME Fund. From which cooperative? Your own or
our own
SME Fund?
Yes.
Okay. So Governor, I want to, because of interacting with many governors, this committee happened to have the governor for Trans Nzoia. He started a project called Nawiri Fund. And if you look at your response, number one, it says majority call for tenders, the low response on majority of the tenders. Number two, the issue of accessibility to capital finance. Number three, you said high value tenders, they cannot apply because of high value tenders. I want to, on the number two, that's why I'm quoting Nawiri Fund. I think your county secretary can talk to the county secretary on the other side. What they've done is like microfinance. They've put money, about 100 million, and anybody who gets LPO or LSO goes through that fund, borrows money, they are charging 3%. After they finish the contract or supplies, they pay back the money plus the 3%. And their AGBO is at over 30%, almost 40%. So, yes, Trans Nzoia. And then if you talk about high value tenders, you have a cooperative department. You can bring women group together and do a contract of higher value. Because if you have 3 or 4 groups coming together, in Marsabit now, we have a group who has got about 30, 40 million in their account. If you give a tender to that kind of cooperative society, they will do it. So it is up to the county and also people with disability. So you need to look at that one also. So you can proceed to answer other questions.
Chair, if I can write on the same, they say that they have a cooperative in the county, a cooperative society. Do you have any program? Have you done any programs to sensitize the youth and the women on how they can be able to benefit from that particular cooperative society?
And if you have any programs,
and if you have done any programs,
yes,
can we have proof? Can we have pictorials? And so that at least we can amplify that, that the county government of Baringo is working with the youth and women.
So, we help the governor to answer that question. The county secretary sits very far. I don't know. Where's our doctor?
Thank you, Chair. I can give to our Chief of Public Service to expound on that.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. On the issue of the funds, I actually wish to confirm that in Baringo County we have a MSME fund, we have a PWD's fund, and we have a cooperative development fund. And Chair, the request from the honourable member for us to provide this information, we seek your permission so that we are able to enrich this report further. We add this information and we send it as a report within a specified timeline so that we can enrich this report.
Oh, that's very good. We'll give you, if you want 7 days or even less.
That's
if you want, because Baringo is very far. Eh? Very good. Thank you very much. Governor?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think generally we have almost finished all the questions. I don't know whether there is any that I have not been able to answer.
Thank you very much, Governor. Members, I think we've done with all the questions. Governor, let me ask you have your final comments, kindly.
Yes, let me just take this opportunity.
Something I forgot. We have a report here from NCIC that shows that you are not compliant with the 30% employment. Yes, NCIC report. Let me, because before we called the governors in, we had two organizations, PPRA and NCIC. You are non-compliant counties. You are number 20 non-compliant. You are at 88.42%. So that means you've employed only your community rather than having others included. If you, for your information, Marsabit County is number 1, which is my county, with 33.41%. So you are number 20 on non-compliant. The compliant counties are, for your information, 13. Yes, 13, which are at a minimum of 70%. So these are Marsabit number 1. I'll go through it very fast. Lamu, Tana River, Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Isiolo, Trans Nzoia, Busia, Embu, Taita, Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Narok. So you need to do something about this. Karibu-san. And also, but on PPRA, you've reported. The only problem I forgot to mention is on the percentage, 30% Agbo.
Yes, yes.
So that one, you need to do something about it also. So.
Thank you very much. I want to thank this committee for giving us this opportunity. And I would like to say that we are committed and we will continue to work towards ensuring that all legal requirements in terms of national cohesion and equity are complied with. And I think the figures, the numbers here that we have given don't lie, but we will deliberately take action to fill in the gaps that are missing. Thank you.
Thank you very much again. Let me also take this opportunity to thank our members, the Secretariat, the media, and also yourself and your team. You have a very good team here, I know. Although the county secretary, the doctor, sits very far from us. I don't know the reason why. I'm still.
It's not the county secretary. The county secretary is this
oh, yeah, the
this
county
one
secretary.
is also a doctor. He also has a PhD.
Also a doctor.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm happy. So thank you very much, and let me also thank your team. And I'll tell you honestly, the documents you brought are among the top 10. Very good documents. And I've told many governors, when we table this report, and I want, after 1 week, to have a good report here, we are going to table a report telling Kenyans, those governors with good programs. The issue is not only documentation, it's the program. In county of Makueni, he has one of the best programs. And your county secretary can talk to the county secretary on the other side. He has colleges, he helps youth. After you finish the technical college, you are given toolboxes. And people with disability, they are given sewing machines, they are being given businesses. They even supply to some uniforms to schools. And then number 3, women also. The program is so good, and we are very, very happy with that county. So I think you are also maybe doing the same program, but we've not, we are not reporting. And that is what our president says. He says we are doing very good programs, but we don't tell people. That's why you've seen Gen Zs were complaining. So, Governor, once again, thank you very much. We have, I don't know if we have tea today. We don't. Unfortunately, this is the issue, the problem with money. Finally, I want to the county secretary. not the county secretary, the CEO. You know, we have 25 people out of 45. If in the next recruitment, you employ 20 people within your county, somebody from Marsabit Boran, another one from Garissa, you know, by doing that, you've already gotten 10 people. You are left with only 10. You will get 45 communities. With only adding 10 or 15, 20, you have 45 communities in your county. Governor, before you come to the Senate, I'll organize an office for you here. Please make sure that you get 10 or 15 communities in this country to work in your county. Asante sana, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll appreciate it.
Asante.
No, thank you.
Radio 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio 88.2 FM. We are in charge.